Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever location you are tuning in. Happy to invite you to another new episode of The Point. The Point is a podcast chat show where we have conversations with thematic and thought leaders on different aspects of our society. And today is on the show, we are privileged to have a guest whom in a short while I'll give him a chance to introduce himself before we start this conversation. Asante, karibu.
Thank you so much. My name is Hilary Onami, Director of Public Policy and Research at the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. I'm a public policy analyst girl, and a pleasure to be in this meeting with the Duncan and team.
Thank you so much, Hilary, for that introduction. And today's conversation, we are happy to have a guest who would help us understand some of these issues that we hear being brandished around, but no much has been said about it. For purpose of context, we are here to have a conversation. Recently, we saw the government through the cabinet approved a decision through CAB memo that as a country, we're going to migrate from cash basis model of accounting to accrual basis of accounting. So for starters, could you kindly tell us what is this migration all about? When you say moving from cash basis model of accounting to accrual basis of accounting, could you please unpack it for our viewers that what are we talking about?
Well, thank you so much. I think from the very beginning, accounting is all about taking charge, reporting transactions either in a cash book or either through the balance sheet and everything else for accountability purposes.
Yes.
The basis for accounting is generally world over. It's either cash basis or accrual basis.
Yes.
The difference is that cash basis, you record transactions. It's just in the recognition of revenue and expenditure. Yeah. So on one side, cash basis recognizes revenue when and then the expenditure upon payment.
Yes.
Accrual basis recognizes that revenue and expenditure. First, revenue when it's earned, and expenditure when it's already has occurred, and not necessarily when it's paid.
Yes.
Cash basis will recognize it as exactly when at the point of payment. So you'll get maybe you're providing a service to a business.
Yes.
Or you're selling a good on say credit. So on accrual basis, you recognize at that point of sale because you're already
a transaction has occurred.
A transaction has occurred.
Yes.
But payment has not been received. On a cash basis, you recognize only when the payment has been received. Yes.
Okay.
So on accrual basis, you recognize that yes, goods have been have left.
Yes.
So I'm expecting payment.
Yes.
You already it's already like considered as sold, as good as sold.
Okay.
And that's the only difference really, because quite a number governments all over. There are quite a number of governments that are on cash basis. There are others that actually the majority in Africa on cash basis. Yeah, because of the cash flow issues.
Okay.
Because government relies on collecting revenue, then expending it. That's why you hear county governments, for instance, they're saying that the exchequer has not been released.
Yes.
So they cannot incur payments.
Yes.
Yeah. And because of that system, then payments, we all rush to 30th of June.
Yes.
To make sure that we have paid.
Yes.
Or the year will close and
it will become a pending bill.
Becoming a pending bill. And then pending bill actually arises because of that basis of accounting.
Yes.
Because if it were an accrual, we will not have anything like pending bill.
Yes.
Because we will have recognized that this expenditure has already been incurred in our books.
Yes.
There will be like liabilities to governments. Yeah.
Thank you. So if I hear you, you are saying that ideally the difference is how we treat the revenue and expenditure. The treatment accorded to them.
Yes.
On one hand, we record it as and when it occurs.
Yes.
And on other hand, we record it when payment is made and when revenue is disbursed.
Yes.
Is received.
Yes.
So From where you sit, is this a good thing for the country?
Definitely, because accrual basis, it's part of the reform agenda that the country has been undertaking.
Yes.
Way from 2010, 2012, when we're actually adopting our new constitution.
Yes.
And amending PFM Act, the Public Finance Management Act,
yes.
2012. There was that push that
yes.
we are going to adopt accrual basis. Because in the PFM Act we established the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board.
Yes.
It's that board that was mandated to issue those standards and to guide the country towards accrual migration towards accrual.
Yes.
So it's been a journey.
It's been a journey
from 2012.
Yes.
2015. I think quite a number of sagas.
Yes.
State corporations. They already transitioned to
accrual basis.
Accrual.
Yes.
It's only the county government and a few ministries that are still undertaking the reporting in cash basis. So I think 2018, it's been progressive reform agenda, and we appreciate the cabinet because it's a country like Tanzania has been on accrual since 2012.
Since 2012.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's something that has been tried elsewhere. It's only that we've been having challenges on migration.
Migration, yeah.
And other than bringing the much needed transformation within the public finance management ecosystem, and as a way of addressing the issue of printing bill, would you say this would help in mitigating against issues of corruption?
To a large extent, because it enhances reporting framework.
Yes.
Where we will know our true financial position, yes. Our financial health. When we know everything that we need to pay. Yes. The pending bills, even public debt. The quagmire on the true position of our public debt.
Yes, will be addressed.
It will be addressed by and large by adoption of accrual basis of accounting. Yes. Because as it is now, our public debt is, it's on Excel sheet. Yes. It's on a cash basis, so we cannot even follow the transactions whenever a new debt is incurred. Until we receive that money. Yes. That's when it's registered in the books, and whenever it's disbursed. So if we had our public debt was being reported on a accrual basis, then we could be knowing a true position as a country. As it were, pending bills, public debt, and quite a number of inaccuracies that go along with cash basis will be solved to a large extent. To a large extent. Yeah. So it's not like it's a tool towards enhancing accountability. Transparency. Yes. I will not say is one bullet that will kill corruption. Yes. But it's a step in the right direction. It's a step towards that direction. Yeah.
Do you expect it to meet some resistance? Human beings, by their own nature, they're accustomed to opposing everything, even if something is in the best interest of everything. Do you foresee some resistance?
Yeah, to a large extent, because they're accountants, they're persons who have in their entire life known cash basis.
Yes.
And their systems have to be tailored. People have to be trained. So it's like any other change, we anticipate some resistance. But in the change management process, you need to bring along all other stakeholders into play. We need to make sure that our systems, IFMIS itself, is tuned to accommodate accrual model. The personnel themselves are trained and retrained, capacity built to ensure that there will be resistance is mitigated to a large extent. Yes.
So you're saying the only way to mitigate against those who would be resistant would be retooling the personnel currently in the system, and also making the integrated financial management information system, IFMIS, to be tuned towards accrual model of accounting.
Yes.
And for the benefit of our viewers, you say that part of the reasons that why we have been having a growing pending bill is because of the model in which we do our reporting, the cash basis. What is wrong with pending bills? Why is pending bill a problem?
Well, because I think, you know, in terms of recognition of, it's not a problem per se. It's the manner in which they become pending.
Yes.
You know, if you have supplied, or rather, if I have contracted you to provide a service, I should recognize that that I need to pay for that service when it's due, when it's completed.
Yes.
Pending bills, part of the reasons were because of disbursements, the delay, and hence the cash flow systems that we were anticipated to collect as maybe for county governments, I could say, that we said we will collect so much in terms of on-source revenue. We anticipated so much from the national government, yet we don't collect. It becomes a cash flow problem. So the suppliers will be required to pay, be paid, and we don't have money to pay them. Because the way budgeting is done, you will get, and procurement in government is done, you have to procure what was budgeted for.
Against the budget and against a procurement plan.
Exactly. Yes. And when we fail to meet to meet our targeted budget, then first of all there's an issue. When government fails to disburse in time, then it becomes an issue. And come to the close of the year, we want to prioritize payments. So there are quite a number that are pending. Which in if we were recognizing these things under accrual accounting, then we will be knowing that these are liabilities as we close the year that needs to be paid. So whenever disbursements will come next, they will be paid according to either the credit agreement that you have entered into the supplier, either through 30 days, because it becomes easier to manage your cash flow because you know they're already been booked. So essentially, we should not even be having pending bills. Because like if you supplied a service or a good, you expect to be paid. It was booked in the books. You undertook it was in the procurement plan, is in the budget. Then I don't understand where it should also be pending. So it's a system that is I will say uniquely Kenyan to some extent. And
probably deliberate.
Sometimes deliberate, yes. And of course, definitely sometimes during transition, people will say that it was a former regime that did not confirm whether these services were provided or these goods were delivered. And hence, but the businessman expects to be paid, whether genuine or not. It's a lot. There's a lot. There are law gaps that needs to be closed in to deal with pending bills, and I think Accrual is that one system that will end this thing once and for all.
Nice. Would you say that in addition to what you've said, pending bill also help in distorting the spending plan for the next financial year?
Yes.
So that also would help. This system would also help towards ensuring that all the bills that occurred during a given financial year are best sorted within that particular financial year. Because they are reported whenever they occur, rather than waiting to report them when payment is made. Okay. Sounds interesting. And it
will really be easy in the audit process because, like you know. It's a service is requisitioned when you're entering into, and the books, the transaction you're able to follow up, and even easier to audit.
This would also help in dealing with the fictitious payments, in the sense that you, because as we say, the old system or the system that the country seeks to move from, it only records expenditure when the payment is made. But this one, as when they occur, and you realize that there have been claims that people resurface at the point of payment to claim even with the fictitious document that they supplied goods and services. But from the government perspective or from the user department, you are unable to trace that kind of transaction. So would you say this will also help in mitigating against such claims?
To some extent, yes, and to some extent, no. Because human beings, they always find something to go around.
To go around, yes.
So I will not say it's one fit for all system, kind of. But I think to a large extent it will be showing to us our truest financial health as a country, because we'll be all our liabilities will now be recognized, and we'll know so much. We need to pay so much.
Yes.
And then we could be asking now questions backward. How did we incur those payments? What are the supporting documents? You know, by and large, it helps the transparency bit, but it may not solve
every problem. It's not one solution for all.
Yes.
When you say that, in addition to helping in addressing the issues of pending bill and public debt, what came to my mind is the pioneer Auditor General, in his report, reported that some of the Eurobond proceeds will not be accounted for. Do you think this would have been the case if the accrual system was in place?
Yes, to a large extent, because first the recognition bit, we will know when we entering into a debt instrument, it will be recorded effectively. And also just taking stock. I think the biggest question was the stock and movement of that stock.
Yes.
And make it even difficult for auditors to audit. And that's why I think he said he could not trace. Specifically, when we go into debt, we go, the Constitution, the public finance says that we need to, our public debt should be incurred for towards development.
Yes.
And when we can't trace a shilling for the development, it tells us that, you see, in the trail somewhere, either money was used for non-developmental functions or work.
Yes, and or probably didn't hit the consolidated fund.
Yes. Which becomes very difficult to trace. So, especially when it moves beyond years. And it's cross-cutting either through from 1 year, financial year, to the next. And that's the main challenge with cash accounting, because like at the time of most of these development projects, they cut across years.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and even a project will be started today,
yes,
but will be finished in 4 years, 5 years.
5 years time.
Yes. So over that period, cash basis will be so limited, because like the next year we'll also be getting into another debt. So if we are on accrual basis, then we will have said our expenditures relate to this project, but they were already started in the previous year. So we'll be carrying over liabilities, which cash basis does not facilitate that process.
Thank you. Proponents of accrual basis talk as if cash basis is a monster. Is there anything good about cash basis model of accounting?
Well, cash basis will be very ideal when we have very predictable revenues, income flows.
Yes.
And then, you know, our expenditure is also aligned, especially in short-term activities. That all be very basic, because like, you know, you recognize revenue when you have received it, and you recognize expenditure when you've already paid it. So it's easy to balance, but it's all because it's one way. Accrual basis is two way. There must be a double entry.
Okay.
There must be a double entry to like, so you received with this hand, you expended on this hand, so that those two shall.
I was going to tell you that not all my viewers are business studies students. So, but you've already explained double entry that
Yes.
what is done on this one side is balanced on the other side. Yes.
Yeah.
There must be some money leaving.
Yes, and expenditure.
Yes.
So cash basis is one way.
The accrual one is two way.
Yes.
It's two way.
Yes.
In which one does the system? Is it the system purely devoid of human intervention, or this one is also there's some limited human intervention?
Well, it's not. It's a totally different. When you want to remove the human intervention, or require totally different system.
Yes.
But it's just a mode of recognition.
Of recognition.
Both of them are largely involving human interaction. So I can't say cash or accrual.
So for the benefit of my viewers, it is the same expenditure, same revenue. All we are talking about is the treatment accorded to these expenditure, these items at the point of recognition and reporting.
As well as on the comprehensivity of reporting.
Of the reporting.
As I said, cash basis is one way. Accrual is two way.
Yes.
And then you see for accrual, our balance sheet will have everything. Will capture every other
it's all encompassing. Yes,
it's all encompassing. Issues like assets, we've been having a very difficult journey in terms of recognition of assets, especially.
Yeah, because I remember that there's a time we were looking for assets register.
Exactly.
And the one we could get was as late as 2017.
And that's the biggest impediment actually with especially county governments in adopting accrual.
Yes.
Because their assets are not known. The value of their assets are not known. We did not finalize. You remember the functional assignment.
The TA, Transition Authority.
Yes. They were to clinically categorize every asset that this one belongs to the county government, this one belongs to the national government, this one is a cross-cutting function, and even assets. As we speak now, and that's when and that's why there have been also delays in transitioning to accrual basis, because county governments do not have a true value of their assets. We never verified. A number of them, if you ask them to produce a balance sheet, they do not know the value, their true value,
of the
assets within the county government. And therein lies the gap.
Do you think it's deliberate?
To some extent, yes. Yes.
What do they stand to gain by not ascertaining the true value of the assets as a county?
Well, I think your guess and mine will be aligned.
Okay. So you're saying that this migration will also help towards ensuring that, because as a country, for you and I was in this space, when you question the treasury, what is available as the asset register dates back to 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
So as a country, we do not know the correct position of our asset portfolio.
Yes.
So this would help towards addressing some of those challenges.
Exactly. Okay. Because you need to, at the end of the financial year, using a accrual system, you need to know the true value of your assets and true value of your liabilities. Because remember they talk about pending bills.
Yes.
They're part of liabilities. So the assets must balance with liabilities. That in terms of the true value of our land, our buildings and everything else, versus whatever we owe those who supply goods to us, who have their expenditures, they need to balance. So that's the only bit that maybe would be a good, but it's a good point to start. So I think in our next financial year, maybe 2024, 2025,
yes,
when now county governments start reporting on that, those gaps will clearly be shown.
Okay.
But if you read through the Auditor General reports over the years,
yes,
he and she they have been pointing out those anomalies in terms of true value of assets within county governments.
Yes,
even the sagas.
Yes,
so because some state corporations or parastatals undertake functional assignments that were already devolved. So I think it's a conversation that came at the right time. We need to also I think the next big thing we need to ascertain is what belongs to who for proper recording and you know, henceforth accountability going forward.
Okay. So this will help in enhancing transparency and accountability. And prudent utilization of resources. The other question that comes to mind is with respect to this mode of accounting. Is it going to be one-off migration, or is it supposed to be progressive migration?
Ideally, it was meant to be fast, and I think that's why from 2018, 2016, there are quite a number of sagas that are already on accrual. It's ideally, I think the World Bank and the IMF proposed that this be a first migration because of the magnanimity of the issues. You need to transition stakeholders, you need to train, you need to adopt so many things, you need to clarify those functional areas, the asset base. It ideally should be first. There are proposal for it to be 3 firsts, so that by the cutoff has already been set. So in the next 3 years, I think ideally everyone should have
moved over to this new system.
Yes.
Okay. Where does this leave common mwananchi? Do they have a part in this entire conversation, or is it purely government responsibility?
Not really, because I think mwananchi has a crucial point in public participation. So when county governments will be coming to you to set up their budgets, they're coming to set up their plans. You need to also question where is the asset, where is the asset register, what are the, mwananchi has a clear-cut role in participating and making sure that whatever is recorded is followed up. So this year we say our asset base is so much. These are assets, and these are value of our assets. You need to follow up, make sure that those assets are protected. Those assets generate more revenue, so that we do not come revenues solely relied on individuals as human contributing. There are quite a number of roles that the human can play along.
So I hear you appear to be invoking Article 1 of the Constitution, sovereignty, where that the government is only exercising donated power, and all those they're doing on behalf or on trust of the people who give them the mandate. What role does this non-state actors, the civil society, have towards making this a success?
Non-state actors are continuously engaging the state personnel, capacity building, capacity building, skilling and reskilling, retooling. And also participating, making sure that the right processes are kept, they ask the right questions when due. So non-state actors, like they have been playing, they have a critical mandate to ensure that accountability, transparency, and general better use of our resources are put to place.
So this is a call to them to continue enhancing their oversight, and monitoring the implementation of this, and also be able to be ready to support where possible to address the challenges that will come in the process of implementing the system. Correct. Okay. So do you foresee this running on smoothly, or do you foresee sabotage from even within? Because I'm very sure there are even people within the government who are against this.
Well, I think it's already been passed the cabinet. The honors are on everyone who's responsible. The National Treasury has already taken it up. I think we should move forward as a country. I think whoever would thought that they will continue to be to rely on system as is. It's part of change management. Change, nothing is as constant as change. So we need to adopt the new change, a new way of working, and making sure that we support the government in this move because it's the right move. Yeah.
At introduction, you indicated to our viewers that you serve this country from ICPAK.
Yes.
What is the position of ICPAK on this?
We support. We've been pushing for it for years.
For far too long, yes. Yeah. Okay. Given that the primary users of this system are accountants who are your members, what plans do you have from an association body to support your members in adopting and embracing this model, given that they're the primary users of this, this
and preparers of financial
statement? Yes.
Yeah, the institute has put in place a robust capacity building through continuous professional development programs to retool accountants on adoption of accrual.
Yes.
The new developments within the systems and the standards.
Yes.
And making sure that their work is heavily facilitated. The institute has also been engaging with specific county governments so that they provide those opportunities for their members and those that are already working but they are not an accountants but in that system, that together they may be trained and capacity built on what needs to be done. The institute has also been engaging with the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board to make sure that the templates they're issuing are facilitative enough to allow for the migration of accrual accounting.
Okay, thank you. And that is from the institute's perspective.
Yes.
Are there any plans to bring on board the citizen through civic education? Because as you said a minute ago, that citizens should continue to participate in these processes.
Yes.
You can only participate in a process that you fairly understand.
Yes.
And so that you're able to ask the right questions. From a regulator of your members, and also in partnership with the Public Sector Councils Board, are there plans to undertake civic engagement or education with the people so that they're able to understand, so that when they're able to ask those questions, they ask the right questions and they're able to question issues relating with the debt, assets, spending bills, and the budgeting? Is there a plan like that?
Yeah, we actually, the National Treasury has taken up this mandate, and we have been going around ourselves as well to make sure that the citizens are updated. First of all, the preparers have the necessary tools and the skills and knowledge, and which will also translate to the public. So once the preparers know what to do, and they have been trained and capacity built together with the Public Sector's Accounting Standards Board, the National Treasury, the Kenya School of Government, and specific entities, because they know their areas of weakness. We're going to undertake a training risk assessment for specific entities as well.
Yes.
So I think once we have developed that critical mass, that the preparers know what to do, then it's the second phase, because I think it will be pointless for you to prepare the mass
before you prepare the preparers. That is true.
Yes.
Are these two models part of curriculum taught in school?
Yes, to a large extent, yes.
To a large extent.
Yeah.
Is it about time that a lot more emphasis is laid at the learners level on this, or do we foresee ourselves going back to cash basis at some point, or should it be rendered moribund and then therefore even the curriculum be tuned to align to this one? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think as you rightly put, we need to inculcate this in the syllabus as early as possible, that instead of just them knowing the benefits and the differences, because I think world over, many countries were still relying on cash basis. So it was important for them to know the two, so that if they are going into an entity that is using a cash basis, they're able to fit in.
Yes.
So it's something that through ourselves, through CASNEB, we're trying to we're undertaking a midterm review of our syllabus, making sure that now the coming up accountants are able to undertake and to match the industry requirements of accrual basis.
Yes. Yeah. So perhaps this, as you rightly say, this is a conversation that would we pick.
Yes,
Because
yes.
there might be need to train, to relook at the training model, and unless as a country we are saying at some point we might go back. If we are not going back, it is good to have understanding of fairly both of the
Yes,
systems.
yes, yes.
But for purposes that, because the country has shown this is the direction we are going, it might be prudent that we lay more focus on where we are headed.
Yeah.
So that could be a challenge, a challenge that CASNEB and ICPAK might consider
Sure.
going forward. Would you know which countries in Africa have adopted this model of accounting, of reporting?
Yes, I know Tanzania, Nigeria, Egypt, to a large extent South Africa as well. So they are on accrual basis. Yes.
So is it that where is the balance? Are the bulk on cash basis or the bulk on accrual?
A bulk on a cash basis. Yeah, but you also understand the systemic reforms.
Yes.
Are more on basically because the government is not predictable in terms of its revenue. So majority of the countries are not predictable, and that's why they are still on cash basis. But going forward, there's an international pronouncement to that regard in terms of adoption of standards. I think gradually, if you have moved the journey like we have,
yes,
then I think the only the only fair thing is for the country to adopt accrual and move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are those people who hold a view, and of course they could be entitled to that view. They hold a view that this movement from cash basis to accrual basis is not the ideally our idea. It's being imposed on us by World Bank and IMF. What say you?
The interesting thing, for accountants and like some of the professionals, we adopt an internationally recognized accounting system. So whether you are an accountant in the US or you are an accountant in Africa, we have same standards treatment.
Yes.
So it's not like a question of imposement. It's a question of is it an agreed standard across the world?
Across the world.
Because the standard setters, the international either accounting standards board or the IAS, the public sector accounting standards as well, they're internationally recognized.
Yes.
So it's something, a treatment of every transaction. There are standards that guide. So whether you are in Kenya, you are in Ethiopia, you are in the US or UK, same standard, same treatment of specific specific transaction. So I'll not buy the idea that it's being imposed on us. Yeah.
Is this part of our own public finance management reform strategies that the country has been on?
Yes. And I said from the beginning, it's something that was anticipated way back in 2012 that will transition to accrual basis. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. As we head towards home stretch, then so we've looked at what the system is all about and the benefit that would accrue out of the system. So as a country, do you think that perhaps it was about time that we start this with the national government, and as we progressively allow countries to be on board at some point, because it seems county governments have a lot of issues than even the national government.
Well, I think that's why it's a first approach. We have quite a number of parastatals and sagas within the national government that already were actually virtually all state corporations and sagas are on accrual basis as we speak. So it was just part of transition. So we are onboarding national government ministries and county governments.
Yes.
Yeah, so they are the ones who had lagged behind a bit. So it's a process of onboarding them as well. So the process is first.
It's first.
So yeah.
Okay. 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 Thank you. And Would this help in mitigating against the issues of, because we know counties have had issues of on-source revenue, for instance, and they also claim that counties are not reporting enough to deal with compared to what the defunct local authorities were reporting, which help in mitigating issues on-source revenue.
Well, I said it is an accounting system and treatment of books. Yeah, to some extent, yes, because now we have to. It will inform us that whatever we had planned to incur, we either have incurred more because our liabilities are more than we had budgeted for. You get? So to some extent, it will, because on-source revenue to a large extent has been used as a balancing figure. So we will be receiving so much from national government, and we want so much, or we have anticipated to spend so much. So whatever balance is, we put it as an on-source. It's not scientifically, rather even practically informed in terms of like, this is our potential and this is our ability to collect.
Yes.
So to some extent, yes, it will help us in addressing those things, because we'll be recognizing our liabilities better, our assets better, and we're able to plan better in terms of like how much can we able to, from historical point of view, how much have we collected, how much is our potential, and how much is our gap.
Yes.
Yeah, so that we're able not to anticipate so much yet, or rather incur so much yet we are not able to collect so much to cater for our bills.
Is a balanced budget possible, and is this the route to take us to a balanced budget?
It always, I think, it's possible. It has happened before. We have lived within our means before.
Yes.
So I know
during the times of ICPAK.
yes. So I think everything is possible. Yes. And
is this the route to take us to that?
It should be. It should be. Yes.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be. I had the president saying that in 3 years' time, the country will be having a balanced budget. That was just actually when it was at Bomas last week in this national wage bill conference. The president made reference to the fact that as a country we need to take tough decisions, which he's been taking, and they are geared towards making life better for everyone in the long run. And he says that once he deals with the issue of public debt, he expects we will, as a country, will be having a balanced budget. We only spend what we have. If we don't have, we wait until we have it. Do you see this to be the long shot towards that?
Yeah, I think by and large, yes, because we'll be knowing our true financial position.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just like your health. So if you know, it will be a better diagnosis of our current situation. As it is, we do not know our truest stock of public debt. We do not know our truest stock of assets and liabilities. We do not know our truest stock of pending bills. Because I think you've seen also the president appointing the former auditor general to audit our pending bills.
No one knows.
And no one knows. Every other county government has been doing that. So that tells you we do not know our current stock of pending bills.
Yes.
We do not know our current stock of public debt. We do not know the county governments do not know the current value of their assets. Because of using different valuation models, we're using different forms of asset registers. So I think this is the right way to go, to know once we have been diagnosed right our where it is ailing us, then it will be easier to mitigate and to address to propose solutions that will be addressing specific challenges as it were. Yes.
Kenya is considered to be a highly litigious nation.
Yes.
and people have rights to go to court on claims of rights undermined or about to be undermined.
Which is a good thing. Yeah.
Which is a good thing,
Yes.
but a bad thing when abused. So has there been, would you say there have been sufficient public participation on this? Because ideally, I bet that only elite citizens are aware of this. When I told people that I'm going to have a conversation on this, people are asking me that I've never heard of such a thing. I don't even know such a thing exists. And I consider the people I was having this conversation with as a bit more exposed people. And if those exposed people have issues understanding basic things like this, then your guess is as good as mine on the common Monanchi. So has there been, would you say there's been sufficient public participation or civic engagement on this, or is it about to happen? Because someone can just go to court and say what you want to migrate to has not benefited from public participation, which is a principle of governance. So would you say there have been sufficient, or would you say that sufficient public engagement is about to happen?
Well, I think I would not say it's a question for public participation really, because it's a technical, it's a technical area.
Yes.
But that just need to either adopt, because it's been tried, it's been tested. It's just like needed political will. And I've said from a Public Finance Act,
Yes.
we set up a public sector accounting standards board
Yes.
that has been prescribing the standards that have been giving out the the formats and everything else.
Yes.
It was just about time that you make that decision that you know now, because of the benefits that Accrual based accounting offers. I do not think that one required significant public participation per se, because but maybe going forward, the public needs to engage to know what is this what this is all about, what it will require, and what it will benefit us as a country, as a nation, and as a public at large. Because everyone wants proper accountability, enhanced accountability, transparency, and that was the decision to take us through what the public has been wanting. Yes,
I hear you. You see. That explains exactly why we are a litigious nation.
Yes.
Because you say you don't think there is need for sufficient public participation. I would say there would be need. Therefore, that dispute must be sorted out in court. Because someone would say the Constitution calls on everyone who implements the Constitution to do so in a manner that is attuned to the principles of Article 10. One of them being public participation. Because we start from a premise that it is a donated power that they're exercising on behalf of the people. So any decision made on behalf of the people must be in the interest of the people. And the only way to know that it is in the interest of the people is if the people feel part and parcel of the process.
Yes.
And when
I totally agree because I've been a proponent of public participation myself. So it's something that the public needs to be aware. And I think the Institute has taken it upon itself to advise more, to engage more, to capacity build and inform the public. It's something that we've been pushing, I think, through media engagements, at both op-eds and media interviews. It's something that has been of interest, that we will benefit more from a professional advisory perspective if we went this direction and not this direction. And we appreciate the cabinet for considering this. Yes.
Okay. And we've spoken about the role of the non-state actors, the role of the citizen, the role of the state actors with the government, the development partners. Do they have a role in seeing this successful implementation of this? And if they have a role, what role would this be, the development partners?
Definitely, I think different development partners will require different reporting
framework
as well. So it's a support as well. The same way they've been building capacity of government to undertake reforms. I think the onus will be upon them as well to continue supporting this reform agenda as well, and making sure that they also demand that whatever the reporting structure is based on this accrual, this system of accounting.
Yes.
So I see a greater function, a greater responsibility for the development partners as well, to support effective implementation of accrual basis of accounting. Yes.
We know that every budget cycle starts with a call from the Treasury to the MDS where it issues a circular that provides the framework upon which these entities are supposed to align their budget on. Do we foresee the Treasury to infuse in that circular part of this reporting as part of the framework?
Yeah, I think I've done it before, because the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board actually sits within the Treasury.
The Treasury, yes.
And they've been giving the templates, they've been doing the training, they've been capacity building the preparers as well. So I think they're going to continuously undertake that. And having been a cabinet decision, yeah, I think a circular should surface to the rest of the ministries, county governments, and departments to report under the accrual basis.
Okay. As we come to the end of this conversation, we would like to give you a chance to share your thoughts and anything you would want to share. It could be in regard with our conversation for the day. It could also be anything that you want to pass across in line with our conversation, and the general public finance management ecosystem conversation that you'd want to pass across. Using this camera, this is your moment to say what you must.
Thank you so much. I think the honors upon all of us, myself included, to make sure that our government is transparent, our reporting structure is accountable, and we contribute our bit to make sure that the country grows in the upward trajectory. I think there is so much we could do with our resources. We should have been middle developed country in the next 5 years, by 2030. But I think we are where we are because partly of corruption, misuse of public resources, and such. So any activity that will enhance accountability, that the public needs to chip in, support, making sure that our processes are transparent, our recording is accountable, and our nation prospers at our aspirations from the founders of this nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hilary, my guest.
Yeah.
I have been having a conversation with Hilary Onami, Director at ICPAK, Charge of Research and Policy. And we've been having a host of conversation on issues that would help in enhancing fiscal transparency and accountability. In particular, we've been having conversations on the whole idea of, recently the government issued a communique on requiring MDS, ministries, departments, and agencies to migrate from cash basis of accounting and reporting to accrual basis. And that is what we've been unpacking. And it's been an honor and pleasure to have with me someone who understands these issues better than I do. And we've had a very educative and informative conversation, and for which we are grateful for our guest. And we're also grateful for our viewers from whatever location you are tuning in. We thank you, those who subscribe to the point. We thank you so much for making this your number one channel. For those who have not subscribed, we request that you subscribe to enable us continue making this production. And we wish to thank you so much and greatly. And for the entire team at The Point who have made this conversation possible, we are thankful of that effort. And we ask that may God bless you, everyone who made this a success. Otherwise, until we do this some other time, I've been your host, Duncan, and thank you so much, my guest. Asante.
Thank you so much.
Asante.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.